Hi everyone, my name's Lucy. I just wanted to highlight schizophrenia as a mental health issue, or illness rather. Something that I actually think we need to get away from is calling it an issue. Um, I think there can be a lot of stigma that comes from that and a lot of fear. There should be no fear with it, apart from obviously if you're concerned for someone, you're concerned for their safety, you're concerned for their health. Um, as I say, I was diagnosed with schizophrenia earlier on this year, and I feel now that I can be a bit of an advocate and speak out. Um, this video was partially driven just because I'd had a really bad episode last night, where it wasn't good. From I'm lucky I don't have anybody living upstairs because they might have heard me start screaming and shouting and having one of my episodes. Um, Sometimes that can kind of come with the territory. Particularly, sometimes you can cry, sometimes you scream and shout just because me personally, I've got really bad delusions and hallucinations, so I hear voices and they tend to be auditory. Some people they get visual hallucinations. I've had that before as well. Um, but I just want you to know that, particularly to the public, we as people with schizophrenia, or even anybody with what could be deemed as a mental health problem, we're not problems to society. We are, and we're not issues. We might have some, but we're not an issue to society. We're not a threat in any way. We're people who, yeah, can sometimes go into hospital. The psychiatric units are there to help us and they're there to help us get better. We're not freaks. We're not cows. We're not, nasty people. We're people who sometimes can get unwell and people who need to reach out for help. But with mental health, you don't always spot your own triggers. You don't always spot when you're unwell, and sometimes it takes someone to say to you, are you okay? Um, what's going on? You know, don't be afraid to, even if you know that person has an issue and you're like, oh, I can't say anything because they know that they have an issue and I'm frightened. Actually, I think we'd be grateful. Um, I can't speak for everyone, but I certainly would be grateful if someone turned around and said to me, you know, are you feeling okay just now? All I would warn against is maybe having someone turn around and say to me, you're just not well at the moment, or, you know, you're a weirdo, start name calling or accusing us of behaving in certain ways because of our mental illness. Always question, yeah, is one of the main things. And yeah, I mean, even now I'm slightly struggling because I can hear people's voices in my head. Some you can recognise, some you don't. Some are nice, some are not so nice. Um, and it can trigger all sorts of feelings, and you can be frustrated, you can be angry, you can be a multitude of. Some can make you happy, some can make you cry, some can make you burst out laughing. Some things you can make a joke out of. Yeah, I'm glad because like I've got a diagnosis now, and as I said, it was schizophrenia that I was diagnosed with earlier this year. Because for about 5 years I was sitting just with psychosis, and then I was told it was just severe anxiety, and was discharged, and then it was psychosis again. I went through another psychotic episode, um, and then unfortunately I had to leave my last job just because it had gotten so out of hand. I wasn't controlling my own behaviour, I wasn't controlling my medication, um, and I wasn't in control of myself at all. So I was in a really good job that I enjoyed, I loved it, had really supportive people around about me. I would never say anything otherwise. Um, but I just got to the stage where I couldn't cope anymore, so I actually ended up whereby I went home to family, but I couldn't stay with them permanently. It's difficult. It's difficult, you know, providing that care, supporting, you know, people through it. You know, if you, particularly if you're living with them permanently, and some of the symptoms that you can have, because sometimes, you know, if you do have voices, sometimes you talk to yourself, and it can seem a bit strange and a bit odd, um, to people. So it doesn't always. It doesn't. It's not something that's natural and easy to deal with. So sometimes you can have those symptoms, and that's partially why I'm making this video. You know, we're not crazy evil people. You know, it's it's an illness. You know, and it's something I've been told it's most likely be there for life for me, which can take a wee while just to, you know, settle in to yourself. Right, I'm going to be on this medication for life, but it's not just one medication. I'm on how many tablets a day? I was on 6, I think, when I was in the hospital. It's now slightly reduced just to 4. I take one in the morning, one in the evening, and then another 2. No, one in the morning and then 3. Sorry, 3 at night. I can take an extra one if I need it, just to keep myself calm, just if I feel like I'm having a bad day. One of the other things that can really be impacted is your sort of impulsions, your memory, your concentration, all these things. They can, and your communication as well, can be really, I mean, sometimes I can just be completely zone out, and it's, people think, oh, she's so ignorant, she's so rude, like, why is she not paying attention? It's not that. It's really not that. It's that it's part of my illness, and I can't help it. I mean, I've heard people say like, oh, she's rude, you know, or, you know, why is she not responding, you know, but it is literally because of my illness. I can't help it. I just zone out, or if I've got other things in my head, which happens a lot. Obviously, if I've got these hallucinations, these auditory hallucinations, the medication is there to try and help control it, but it doesn't remove it completely. And I think that's a sort of misinterpretation of the medication that is given to us. It can, obviously, you're talking about your, you know, your hormones. Your hormones can be altered, but they can't be necessarily completely changed. You know, for some people, their hallucinations or delusions, they do go completely away. For others, it it doesn't always happen. It could be, you know, not completely on the right medication, maybe not found that yet. Sometimes you need to try multiple medications, which I've had to do. The most recent one I've been on has been good, but as I say, I still have episodes where I'm not good. Some episodes can last 10-15 minutes, other episodes can last hours, you know, whereby you're just not yourself. And it can be difficult, and it's, you know, for those loved ones around you, that can be quite challenging. It can be really challenging for those people that care about you. It can be really challenging, you know, and difficult to try to, you know, for them to try to empathize and be there for you. So for those of you that do have, you know, whether it be schizophrenia, whether it be depression, anxiety, you know, don't think that, oh, I've just got a wee bit of anxiety, so my situation doesn't matter. It does matter, you know, catch it in the early stages. Don't be afraid to speak out. I think we need to speak out more about mental health, because everybody has mental health. It's not just an issue, you know. Everybody has mental health in some way or another, you know, and I don't think it's been spoken about enough. Um, it's not just the issues that we're working on. Everybody's mental health matters. You know, that's why I would encourage to exercise, you know, even if it's just a 15-20 minute walk, even 10-15 minute walk, you know, outside each day, just, even if it's pouring rain, guys, get yourself out there, have that jumper, whatever that you can afford to get soaked, have that top, have that jacket, have those shoes, if you don't mind your trainers getting wet, just go out there and, yeah, turn your mental health around, do the little things, even if you're struggling, there's no shame in that. There's absolutely no shame in saying, I'm really struggling and I physically cannot get myself out of the house. I can't. Walk around your living room a few times, just get up and do that. Um, you know, Sing, that's what I do. I sing a lot. I've done it since school, so I'm very fortunate that way that I know some of the tips and tricks with breathing. But yeah, all I'm saying, guys, is just anything that can help you with your mental health. Just try little things, even if it's just one thing each day. It can make such a difference. As I say, I've been in a situation this year where I've been diagnosed with something which has given me a bit of closure, but it is also, nothing's set in stone. Am I going to have this forever? You know, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, because mental health is not one of those things that's easily measurable. It's not one of those things that is easily controlled, because the doctors who take care of us, and offer us treatment, they can't see inside our heads. All we've got is what we speak out, and maybe some symptoms that they can see, you know. But generally, the most part of it, the majority of it, is inside here. So we need to speak out more. And any stigma that exists, just if anybody ever says anything to you, oh, you're weird, oh, you're a freak, oh, you're this, oh, you're that, just ignore them. They're not worth your time. Have no shame, if you have, whether you have, a mental health diagnosis, or whether you feel anxious, whether you feel depressed. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Take the shame away, because this mental health is something that everybody has, and they do say that in a lifetime, everybody's going to have something with their mental health. Everyone, they're going to meet, no matter how minimum, no matter how maximum it is, it's, in terms of a scale, it doesn't matter. Everybody has mental health. It's like having good days and bad days. Not everybody's going to have hallucinations. Not everybody's, going to feel, suicidal or anything like that. And pray, listen, there are people that you can pick up the phone to if you ever do feel that way. On the other side of things, you've got things like alcohol and drugs. I've been very fortunate to have met people with such a range of mental health struggles, and I wouldn't say any of them are bad people. They're not. They're not bad people. They're not scary people, and they're certainly not freaks or weirdos. So please, if anybody's out there and says that about people with mental health problems, then please remove that from your vocabulary, because it's very hurtful and it's not nice. I've had that myself. I even heard it last year, from somebody that didn't even really know me but knows of me, and they called me a weirdo, you know, and it's not nice, It's it's not nice. You don't need to hear that from anybody. You don't need to hear that said about you. It's it's yeah. It just needs removed from society completely. There's no need for it. Um, if someone is acting, a little bit out there, then ask if they're okay. You know, make kindness a culture. That's something that I was really passionate about a couple of months ago. We just need to make kindness a culture. Hashtag it. With regards to mental health, particularly, it's such a big thing, and your mental health, everyone, as we say at some point, struggles with it, you know. So please, all I'd say is just try and be kind to each other. Try and support each other. You know, everyone in this world, let's all support each other and show each other so much love, you know, and kindness. I know that we can get through this battle with mental health together, rather than having any stigma, rather than seeing it as just issues, you know. I hope this video has been of support to some people. If you do want to leave a message, if you do want to reach out, then feel free. Yeah, as I say, I hope that we can make kindness a culture, spread the love, you know, spread a caring attitude rather than a stigmatic one. And yeah, so that's just a bit of a background from my own mental health experience. If it's helped anyone, then great. And as I say, feel free to reach out, leave a message if you want. Okay, make kindness a culture, guys. Bye.